Okay.
Hi everyone, this is Diane. I'm going to read a Japanese story play today called The Dragon's Tears. It was a favorite of the penguins. Once there was a big dragon who lived in the mountains. The people of the town nearby always talked about it amongst themselves. The dragon's eyes are fiery red and his mouth is so huge that it stretches all the way across his face. His breath is red and hot like fire. Sometimes I can hear him roar. If you happen to get close and he sees you, he'll swallow you up. Everyone in the town was afraid of the dragon. Everyone hated him. Because of the dragon, my children are afraid to go to bed at night. I don't know what to do when my child wakes up in the middle of the night, crying because of the dragon. Isn't there anyone who can chase this dragon away? I wonder why a brave man doesn't appear to save us from him. One day, as the people talked amongst themselves in this way, a baby was born in the town. It was a boy, and he grew up to be big and strong. But this boy was not like the other children. He never cried when he heard stories about the dragon. In fact, he was so curious that he asked questions about it. He may sound brave, but he was not especially so. He did not like to play soldiers with the other boys and seemed to prefer quiet games. But what made him special was his gentleness and kindness to other children. One night the boy sat up suddenly in bed and began to cry. "What's the matter, dear? Do you have a stomach ache? Why are you crying?" It's the dragon." "Don't be frightened, dear. The dragon doesn't take away good children." "You don't understand, Mother. I'm not afraid of the dragon." "Then why are you crying?" "I feel sorry for him." "What do you mean? Why should you feel sorry for him?" "Why, don't you see? No one is nice to him." As he said this, great tears began to flow down the boy's cheeks, and he began to cry again. When the neighbors heard what had happened, they began to talk. "I wonder why the boy said that. Yes, what a strange thing to say. He's such a quiet child. Maybe something is wrong with him." When the boy's mother overheard the townspeople talking, she said to them, "There's nothing wrong with my boy. He was half asleep when he said those things. He'll soon be 7 years old. He'll grow out of such talk." Finally, the day of the boy's birthday arrived. "Well, dear, who would you like to invite to your birthday party?" "The dragon. I want the dragon to come." "What are you saying, my dear? Of course you don't mean that." But the little boy really did want the dragon to come. His mother did not know what to do and tried to get him to change his mind, but the boy would not listen. A little later, the boy went out of the house. In no time, he found himself standing on top of a hill, just outside of the town. He could see a range of mountains off in the distance. Soft white summer clouds hung in the sky right above them. "The dragon must live hidden in the shadow of one of those mountains. I'm going to look for him." The boy walked down to the bottom of the hill. He followed the road for miles and miles. When he got tired, he slept in the woods. When he got hungry, he ate nuts from the trees. Finally, he came to the mountain where the dragon lived. He found himself overlooking a misty valley and could hear the roar of the mighty river below. If he called out from that spot, he was sure that his voice could be heard all over the mountain. The boy called down into the valley, "Mr. Dragon! Mr. Dragon! Mr. Dragon!" His voice echoed and then disappeared below. Now the dragon was sleeping in his cold, dark cave. He followed the road for miles and miles. When he got tired, he slept in the woods. Then the dragon came. "What's that? Someone's calling me? How strange. Who could it be?" The dragon lifted up his head and answered back, "What do you want?" "Please come out." It was the voice of a young child. The dragon became more and more curious, and heaving his long body up from the ground, lumbered out of his cave. "So it was you that called me." The sound of his voice could make your blood run cold, and he waved his long red tongue in front of his face as he spoke. Whenever he moved, the brittle scales on his body would brush against the leaves on the trees, setting them in motion to create great gusts of wind. The little boy was watching everything. "I can see that you're not an ordinary boy. Why did you come all the way here to look for me? I want to invite you to my birthday party. You've never been invited to a party before, have you, Mr. Dragon? I can't say that I have. Well, that's why I came. You'll come, won't you? Let's go to my house. There'll be a lot of good things to eat. The dragon listened to what the boy said, but couldn't decide what to do. You want me to go with you? Is it really all right? I won't do anything to hurt you, and I'll protect you if anyone is mean to you. The dragon looked seriously into the boy's face. There was a gentle glow in his eyes, a glow that had been locked up deep inside for hundreds of years. Thank you. No human being has ever spoken kindly to me before. In fact, human beings have only hated and despised me. Tears began to flow down the dragon's cheeks. I'm really not bad. Everyone just thinks I am. The dragon's tears poured down to the ground and gradually began to flow like a river. The boy was very surprised and grabbed on quickly to a tree nearby. Why are you crying, Mr. Dragon? Your tears will wash me away, and I won't be able to go back home. Don't worry, little boy. Just get on my back. By this time, the dragon's tears had become a great river. The blue of the sky reflected on the surface. The dragon's body floated on the water like a boat. Braving the waves, he carried the boy towards his home. He told the boy, "This is the happiest moment in my life. I'm going to stay on the water like this and become your boat. Then I can have all the same kind and gentle children of the world come for a ride on me." Soon the boy's town could be seen on the bank in the distance. Suddenly, one end of the dragon's body began to change, and he turned slowly into a black boat. His breath became smoke in his roar, the tooting of the boat's steam whistle. When the people of the town caught their first glimpse of the black steamboat and the little boy riding on it, how surprised they all were, and what a splendid homecoming they gave to the boy and his new friend. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. I certainly did. See you next time. Thanks for listening.